It is Saturday, November 16th. Um, and I think it's like 8 o'clock. I don't know what time it is. Somewhere after 8. I laid down last night at I think like 1:30, 1:45. Um, I had a lot on my mind. I was done working at like 11:30, but then I had to take a shower and drive somewhere, park, get set up, and get ready for bed and everything like that. It takes a little bit of a process. It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take what an hour and a half long. It takes like maybe 20 minutes. But I also ate. By the time I finished eating and going to sleep, um, it's maybe like 1:45, 2 o'clock. And then I woke up this morning at what, like maybe an hour ago, at like 7. Yeah. Um, I wanted to get more sleep, but I've kind of learned that, like, when I'm up, I'm up, and that's just kind of like what it's gonna be. Um, some nights I sleep really, really well. Most nights I sleep really, really well. I think the spot I parked at right now was it's not the best choice. Um, so when cars pass by, it moves the van a little bit. That probably kept me from sleeping as soundly as I could. But oh well, whatever. It is what it is. I'll get through the day. It's not that big a deal. But anyways, on the weekly update front, um, I had a really good set this last Monday. Um, it it was more of a good set than it was like good writing. Um, excuse me. Because I basically just went up and talked about my ex in a way. Like she really wasn't my ex. Um, but that's getting into the details of the whole thing, which is just kind of it's a whole other thing, and I'm kind of just don't want to think about it. And not even that I don't want to think about it, right? Like I'm over it. That's the thing. I am over it. But it's like I'm at the point now where I'm so over it that I can go on stage and talk about it and try to like make fun of it. Um, and the audience enjoyed it. At least they enjoyed the night where I was trying to talk about it and make fun of it. Um, but it's tricky and it's hard because there's like the element of writing involved for jokes, and then combining that writing element with, I guess you could say, with just like being yourself, right? The performative side, and that's definitely the side that I'm not the best at. But this particular night, it was fun because the crowd was really good. It was a really good crowd. They were having fun. They were attentive. Um, they were interactive where they needed to be interactive. I could call them out and tell them. I could call them out and tell them to shut up when they were distracting from my time and everything. And I just had a few like really good moments, like with some members of the audience, and they were laughing. I was riffing. I was in the moment. Um, it was a fun night. It was a fun set. And I had a few comedians like after I got off. They're like, "Good shit, man. That was good." I'm like, "Thank you." And then later on that night, I had another comedian come and just like, "Yo, dude, you had a good set then. You had a good set there." I'm like, "Thank you." It's like, "Yeah. I'd never seen you tell someone to shut up before, so that was a trip. Like I'd never seen you really hit that gear. So like that was cool." Um, and it's really nice, honestly, when you get validation like that from your peers, right? Because you know comedians see each other's sets a million times, and so when when they see that you're not having good sets, right? But then they see that you can have a good set. That's like it's everything. It really is. Um, because it's like okay, you're starting to figure it out, right? You're starting to like get pieces here and there. You can just if you can just figure out how to keep doing that and be consistent about it. And like what's weird for me is I have no idea why I'm funny. Like I really don't. I don't. I don't understand. I don't get it. Um, but like I can go up on stage with the jokes that I have written, and they just sometimes they just don't work. Um, but then I can go on stage like I did this last Monday with completely new material, like for the first time where I'm going on stage and really like use like saying it. I think it was more like the second or third time, but I mean, like basically still new, and get a bunch of laughs and just be in the moment and have fun. And it's like I get more laughs by not trying so hard. Um, but then there is a need to be consistent about like your jokes, right? So that's your writing. Um, but then there's like how do I write a set that is just me being me? And that's the thing that's just such a conundrum because I don't get that. I don't understand. Um, like I understand enough about my humor to know that my humor, at least right now, is something that I don't control. Like I don't control when I'm funny, but I am funny. Like there's no doubt about it. Like I can go up and make an audience laugh by just being myself and just being my genuine self with them and just kind of like just talking about the stuff that's on my mind at that time. Um, and I have the set recorded, and I went back and I watched it, and I really only did like 3 jokes that I like, not even jokes, but just statements that I wrote down. And I got I had one of the best sets. I had one of my best sets, honestly. Um, so I'm like, how do I keep going from there? You know, like do I keep writing, or do I just like write my thought? Do I just like because basically what I did was I have a journal. I mean, I've posted about it on Instagram before, but I have my journal and I'll put like a topic down, and then underneath that topic I'll just write my thoughts on it. I'm just like, well, I think this, and I think that, and I think this, and I think that, and this happened, and that happened, this happened, and that happened, and then I go on stage, and I just basically paraphrase what I wrote down, but I'm saying that to the audience, and they laugh, and it's like, all right, I know if I keep doing that, then I'll get better at that. But can you build a career off of that, right? Because part of being a successful comedian is that when you get booked for a show, you know you have a set that will deliver on the laughter. And I don't know if that's the same thing. Uh, so I don't know. I really don't know. Um, One of my biggest comedic like influences personally is like is Dave Attell. Like I love Dave Attell because from what I've read and from what I've heard and from what I've seen of his comedy, um, he never repeats his jokes. Uh, like he'll do four shows, two shows on a Friday and a Saturday, and someone will go to like their Friday show, his Friday show, and his Saturday show, and be like, he never repeated a single joke. Like he didn't repeat anything. Or I may be misremembering that. It may be that someone went to two shows, one on a Friday, one on a Saturday, but like months apart, um, and he didn't repeat any jokes. The main takeaway is that Attell, he just goes up there. From what I can gather, he just goes up there and just kind of like talks about the political climate or the news at the time, or maybe himself, or his take on things or his thoughts on things. Like he's not trying to be this social critic like George Carlin, or he's not trying to commentate on uh, his life and what he's gone through like Richard Pryor, and he's not trying to take the life that he's lived and portray it in a silly manner like Gabriel Iglesias, or he's not trying to be um, he's not trying to get across his own personal philosophical thoughts on the differences between men and women like Patrice O'Neill. He's not trying to say things that push audiences to darker places only to bring them back out of it because there's an interesting thought here that the comic wanted to delve into with the audience, like Louis C.K. No, and he's not trying to discuss his thoughts on what it is that he personally thinks in relation to the world at large and what he's gone through, like Dave Chappelle. No, all Dave Attell is trying to do is go on stage and make people laugh. That's it. That's all Dave Attell is trying to do. And I like that. I really do. I vibe with him, even though I don't know him, and even though I haven't really watched a lot of his comedy. I saw a special on Netflix, the one, Hot Cross Buns. It was funny. That was a funny special. Um, but he's just trying to go up there and get the people to laugh. That's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to do his job. And he's renowned for it too. And so when I think about myself and the fact that I know that I know at this point right now, I can go on stage with my thoughts on things and just talk about whatever that I'm going to talk about, and it gets laughs. Like being a silly, doting, stumbling through my set kind of guy, that gets laughs. I don't know why, but it does. It really does. And it's fun. Part of the reason why I think that is because sorry, it's a little chilly. It is a little chilly actually. Part of the reason why that is, I think that is because um so much of how I carry myself and so much of how I approach my life and everything um is that uh people take me seriously. People take me very seriously. Which is kind of funny because I'm I am serious, but I'm also pretty laid back too. I mean, everybody's that way. Everybody's Everyone's introverted, extroverted to some degree. I'm no different in that regard. Um, but I've gotten the comment multiple times from multiple people at multiple in multiple areas of my life, like work, like church, like wherever. That like when people first started finding out that I do comedy, they're like, "You do comedy?" I just like, "Yeah." It's like, "But you're so serious though." I'm just like, "Well, I mean, I'm serious here. I'm serious at work. I'm serious at church. Like, because those things are important to me and I take them seriously. But that doesn't mean I can't go and be silly." Um, and so I also know that when I'm on stage, people take what I say seriously. Like they really believe what I'm saying. Like they don't think I'm joking. And so I think when people see that seriousness, that's immediately noticeable, and however it's noticeable, um, it cuts two ways. One, when I get on stage, the audience immediately tunes in and they start paying attention. I've seen comics go up on stage and the audience just has no respect for them for whatever reason. And I've heard this from other comics as well, that when I go on stage, they're like, "Oh, like I want to hear what this guy has to say." Like, like they just immediately tune in. Flip side of that is that the con of that is that if I say like a racist joke, they're gonna think I'm being racist. Well, I guess I should reword that differently. If I say a joke that is edging on being racist, right? Then they will think that I am a racist, right? And part of that's like I don't know if that's necessarily the things that I want people to think of me. Um, some comics are successful because they don't care what the audience thinks of them. They're just doing what they need to do to get laughs, and that's okay. Um, but because I look serious and because people take me seriously when I go on stage, and I'm messing up my set, right? Quote unquote messing up my set, and I'm being silly and I'm kind of like stumbling through things. It's like I am actually genuinely being myself in that moment, and that person when I'm genuinely being myself is funny, right? Because I don't want to be a silly person at work because I take my job seriously. I want to be good at my job. Um, Paradoxically, to be good at, to take my job of being a comedian seriously, I actually have to be not serious about it, is kind of how it's looking right now. Like I'm overthinking it, which I've been told as well. It's like you overthink things. Just do you. Just be you, you know? And that's what I've been doing. I did that for a few weeks. I mentioned that in another update that I was just going on stage and just going up there and just talking and just being loose and having fun. And I got more laughs that way than when I sit down in a coffee shop and I write out every single joke and then I go up on stage and I try to tell those jokes. Dang, this is already 20 minutes. Um, but yeah, that that's that's where I'm at right now. Is I had that really good set on Monday, um, and I'm happy about it. I really am. So how do I continue to be more consistent about that and getting and having sets like that? I mean, you've heard my thought process right now, and it being myself on stage is definitely part of, if not the answer. Now, how I take that and apply that going forward and build a career off of that, that's another matter, you know. I also got some advice from a few comedians another day that was really helpful. Um, I'm getting better at work. That's pretty cool. Um, I don't need to talk about work. That's a whole other topic. I don't want these things to go super long. Um, But yeah, work is good. Life is good. It's getting cooler here in Texas, which is so nice. It's so nice. I'm sleeping so good. This last night that I woke up like 6 hours later or something like that. This not even maybe like four and a half. No water. I'm so tired. Yawn. Uh. It's been getting cooler, and it's been nice because I basically have AC in Vanessa now, and I'm sleeping so good. I'm sleeping so good. I guess got to make sure I park in good spots that don't get um, car traffic overnight. That probably is what didn't let me sleep so well um, this last evening. But oh well, it's no biggie. It is what it is. That there's just pros and cons to living in a van. No rent, but you get woken up in the middle of the night if cars drive by. It is what it is. But cool. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. And I guess that's it.